The Morning Show with EVH. I'm Eric Von Hessler. Oh, look who's here. It's Autumn Fisher.
Hello.
And Michael Albanese.
Oh, hey.
And Greg Russ is flying the ship over there in his $15 internet glasses.
Hey, with the no glare lenses, boosted the price to $22.
Do you know that he buys his glasses online from someplace in China?
So does my dad.
Oh, really? Well, I don't understand how you can eat. Well, we'll get into it. But part of buying glasses is you're in the store, you're looking in the mirror. Look.
How much are your glasses? What do those run?
Ridiculous. Hundreds of dollars. Ridiculous.
And look at my glasses, Autumn. I trust your opinion on this. Probably because you'll take my side. Eric's glasses.
Yeah.
My glasses. Do they? Can you tell a difference? Is what I'm asking.
Oh no.
Your lenses aren't real?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just being
Hey,
hipster.
you want to put these on? Here you go.
Yeah, let me try it.
Oh, I can't see the button. I have to press to switch the camera to you.
We'll put the glasses
Well,
on.
still, we put the switch
Okay,
first.
switched it.
I switched it.
Look at him squinting.
Fake
It's so
lenses.
cute with your squinty eyes.
Fake lenses. How dare
They're
you?
not even real.
How dare you?
Yes, he wears
Oh, yours
contacts.
they have like a turtle shell thing going on. I thought that they were just black. They look good.
No, I think that you're absolutely
First
right.
of all, these are not even. There's not even prescription in here.
Yeah.
And second, I might throw up in about 2 seconds.
No,
wear
I think that. No,
contacts?
I think you're smart. I think that you're smart, and glasses are amazingly overpriced. Hundreds of dollars for something that, right? You got decent pair of glasses for $20. The part I don't understand is when you're in the store with the glasses. Part of it is looking in the mirror and does this fit? I don't understand through the internet how you can know that something is going to fit your head properly.
Well, you can upload a photo of yourself and superimpose
How does that
cut out of the
mean?
glasses. Yes, I know what you're saying. You have to do measurements. You have to know the measurements. You have to know the distance between your pupils so that the center of the lenses is
Right.
correct.
right. And how do you find this information
Yes.
You guessed.
I was a little off with these, and I felt sick for the first couple days wearing them.
And
And,
then
then
you got
you
used to it.
adjust.
Right.
Yes, and it probably makes your eyes worse in the long run, but I adjusted.
You saved money.
I did.
Is there a way? I guess maybe what you could do is you could just go to an eye doctor, get all those measurements for yourself without buying glasses, pay for the eye doctor once, and then keep those measurements and then send those exact measurements out, and then you'd be fine, right?
Yes, and because I wear contacts, I know my prescription for contacts, which your glasses prescription's a little bit different, but I was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm just going to go with that one.
So you were sick for a couple of days, but you saved hundreds of dollars, and now you're
And I
like
look
the
fashionable outside of my greasy hair and
Well-
the same shirt I've been wearing 2 days.
Well, you've been knocking boots like crazy, and I'm going to give you a break. You know, you're up all night making love. You barely get here at like till 8:30 in the morning.
end up
Supposed to be
watching
here at 8. You're here
we
like
watch the
8:30
Gem
in the
Shopping
morning.
Network if you want to know the truth.
My mom works for the Gem Shopping Network.
Does she know Marvin?
She's an operator.
Does she know Marvin?
Who's
Does she
Marvin?
know Marvin?
Gemstones with Marvin. He's
Yeah, probably. She works the overnight shift. So
That's
she
what he works.
like the 2 a.m. to like 11 a.m.
So if I
She's
call-
a phone operator. Yeah.
they have this rotary, this Lazy Susan with all
right.
this
Yeah.
Yeah.
gaudy jewelry. If I call and I can say, I would like to see number 13, Mrs. Albanese.
Well, yeah, she doesn't like go. Yeah, but she'd grab that, I guess, and she'd be the one yelling like, "Pick up this one, Greg's on the phone." She's not a gay man. I don't
Yeah.
know why she has this
Greg's
role.
on the phone.
I didn't know your mother came out of the closet as a gay man.
She's very sweet.
Sometimes they sell.
Can you pull up a little Gems with Marvin? Is he? Do people put his stuff on YouTube because they're such big
I
fans
could
of?
pull something up, I'm sure.
Gems with Marvin?
They sell these loose gemstones sometimes.
Yeah, I'm
And-
familiar. I have a fascination.
$35,000, $68,000.
My favorite thing
They
is
have
that
an
they zoom the camera into these rocks so that you think that they're decent size, but when you pull back, you realize these things are minuscule rocks.
Here's
and
the
they
thing.
also sell like a bag. I like these sort of like
Oh, the mystery bag.
the mystery bag of jewelry, which is worth about as much as a Cracker Jack box. full of-
Hey, Cracker Jacks are delicious.
They are fantastic. At least you get some value with the Cracker Jacks. I think it would be. When I watch the Gem Network, and I do get fascinated. For one thing, I'm still a child in the sense that colors please me. Like honestly, like if flickering like nice colors.
Look at
make
you,
me feel,
you modern society man.
They
you.
make me feel good in my stomach. Like I like colors. I can just watch like colors happen. So I enjoy the Gem Network in that sense. But as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, here it is 1 o'clock in the morning. How many times has the husband who's on the road, he's a traveling salesman or something along those lines, and he's not there, and the wife who loves him a whole lot, she's up late and she's waiting for her husband to come home. And she's watching the Gem Network, and she gets convinced by Marvin or whoever that this would be a great value and an investment for the family. And so Dad's out on the road working his ass off, and he comes home and he finds out that his wife just spent a whole bunch of money on this new investment that is actually crap.
Did you ask how many times does that happen?
Yeah.
Once.
Really?
Well,
I think it's
don't know.
happened quite
I've never been married.
Yeah, I think a lot of times
But
happens.
it would be once.
In my in one, it's
In
like-
that one couple.
in my mind, he
That
comes
one
home and it
time.
was a great marriage up to this point.
Well,
and then
you
it's the
just
first
lost
time,
your credit card.
It's the first time he strikes her.
I think
and then
you
the
guys-
marriage.
That's why I'll never be married.
Look,
by the way.
with the volatility of the dollar these days, I think it's a smart move to invest in tourmalines and spinels.
Yeah. They come on and they
That's
tell
one
you they tell you why this new gem that you've never heard of, that was obviously manufactured in somewhere.
You don't know that. They're all real.
You want to be the first ones. And also on Marvin's show, which I don't know.
Marvin is a stand-up guy. He's not trying to. He has auctions. He's trying to be
That-
fair with the prices.
How does the auction? Because it seems, is this the one where the auctions where the prices get lower?
No.
Because I've seen reverse auctions. I don't even know what that means.
Can we
The price
call?
starts
Can we
up
call
here.
the Gem Network right now and like pretend to order something and see what? And let's see the pitch.
I'm
Maybe
watching.
it's-
I'm watching the stream.
Maybe it's
currently.
my mom.
Can we? I don't know if we'd have to use Skype. I don't know if
Yeah,
we
I
can
guess
call
you're
them.
right.
Let's work on it for tomorrow. Let's do it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
$5,000. Every item on here is going to be under $5,000.
It's a deal.
Right.
Why is he screaming?
And,
Because he's
this
gotta
is
let you
the
know.
last chance. This is the last chance quick pick.
It's last chance quick pick.
$5,000 in a stake.
You better
last
jump in
chance.
because they're going to be gone.
It is
Go,
done.
go,
gonna make my
call,
husband-
call, call.
Is it the
Is
lottery?
there a timer?
What's the quick pick?
I love
Is there
when
a
they put
cash
that-
option?
Yeah.
I love when they put that timer in the
it
corner,
is
like,
going
oh,
to
I
be
only have
gone,
46
like I said,
seconds.
Gotta hurry
at
up.
noon
Oh, my
today.
husband's gonna be
And
so
let's
proud
just
of me.
go in.
Did I use this $5,000 for an investment?
Let's hear this. What is
Whack.
he saying?
It's $5,000 and under. There's some pieces that will be 5,000, but there's a lot of pieces on here that are under,
Pieces.
2,000,
What?
under 3,000,
Oh,
under
man.
1,500.
I wish you could see the stream.
This is the deal of the
century.
century.
Number 5 is beautiful on this turntable.
So when people buy these loose gems, do they have a necklace with the little claw thing to like
Well,
install
no, that's
it
the thing. Is
into?
they're buying them as as an investment. In order to put them into a pendant, you have to take them someplace
To a
and spend a
jeweler.
bunch of money.
I mean, they sell jewelry too.
Right.
You have the package. It's not
Yeah.
always up to you
Right.
to set it
Yeah.
in your white
But
gold.
here's the thing for me: isn't the whole concept of gems that they're rare, and that's why? So if you there's no possible way that if you have a whole bunch of gems and they're cheap, that somehow I can. How is it value for me?
I think maybe if there's an apocalypse, then you can
Yeah.
have like a little Crown Royal bag full of my gems
Yes.
to trade for something
here's a-
You'll
important.
be able to get a mule or something
That's
like
right.
that out of that.
Here's
I
a-
have gems.
It's trick-a-tock-a-tite.
Here's a fun game. If you're listening right now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, no matter what time it is you're listening to this, go to the Gem Shopping Network, watch the stream, and it looks like it's from, I don't know, 1981.
It
looks
does.
like looks
Yeah.
like the jewelry that she
Yeah.
opens up in Goodfellas when she decides they're gonna get married. And she's like, look at all the jewelry. This is what it is right here.
It also looks like it's on VHS.
I also wish I could quote those people's
Well,
names, but I'm
where's the
stupid.
office? Duluth.
It is in Duluth, yeah. It's
Have you
right
ever
by,
been? Have you been to the studios, the
They
Gem Shopping
are on
studios?
lockdown, sir, because they
Well, they-
manufacture a lot of this stuff right there in house.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
So
why
they
you get the
make these
great
gems.
deals.
or like I don't know if they manufacture,
No
but they
middleman.
like put it together and they like kind of package it and all that stuff.
Well, I don't. When you think about gems, it's such a racket anyway because diamonds are not rare; they're kept artificially rare. There's plenty of diamonds. Now, on one hand, you can be like, "Well, they should release that." On the other hand, if you spend a bunch of money on a diamond, you don't want them to release that because it keeps the value of the diamond you have
Right.
Up there. But here's the thing about diadiamonds: we now with technology can make them in about a day.
But you
And
can
if-
tell.
yeah.
But what's the
You can
difference?
look through the
If you-
microscope and the molecular structure
Eric, I don't
is
know
a
if you
little
know
bit
the
different.
Put on
saying.
your finger, it looks like a diamond because it is a diamond. The fact that we can make them by putting that pressure on carbon
Right.
and basically take care of 1 billion years worth of work in a day, it's still a diamond.
Who's
It's-
wearing this trash? I'm watching this. It's like it looks like the worst. Like that's the only thing that looks legitimate here.
There's,
Everything else it
Size
looks.
on that one. This
Look at
ring
the size
here,
of that one.
Ah, will you look at that?
Diamond Solitaire, and I believe that one might be a French design. I'll have to take a look at it.
Ooh,
French
well, that's got to be
design.
good.
He's not
Another
sure.
eternity
That's gotta
band.
be good, I
Yeah,
believe.
the Art Deco bracelet. The beautiful art.
This is incredible.
Did you see that? We'll go back to it in a second.
Oh, these are the worst.
ruby-
Here's the thing. Do you know the
These-
saying though about diamonds?
Victorian.
Diamonds.
Our girl's
That is-
best friend?
No.
Are
Diamonds are a kiss on the hand. Maybe. What does that go?
I don't know what you're
Well,
talking about.
you're telling us. Well,
Kiss-
I
what's
didn't
that
say
song?
to you.
A kiss on the hand. Maybe quite
I'm gonna leave you to hang.
a
I'm
kiss
just
like
gonna.
the Madonna song.
continental. No.
Are you talking about Madonna? It's like
I don't know.
a
No, no.
material world.
I demand silence until he remembers what he was going to say.
You're gonna have about 45 minutes on your hands here, bud.
So,
Somebody look
I'm-
up that whole diamonds thing.
I'm for those factory diamonds because
They're
it
cheap.
is. I'm gonna get a demerit. It is bullshit
Right.
that bring on the demerit.
Continental. I said that.
Listen, so the
Sorry.
Would you allow her? That's,
No, that was my. I interrupted her for
do
sure.
you
I
have
just got
Tourette's
so
over there?
I'm so excited that I found that I was right.
Eureka!
An asshole I am.
yeah, it is bullshit because De Beers like
but
holds back all of the diamonds that are available and
Right.
makes them rarer than they really are. And they were the ones that put out saying that an engagement ring needs to be 3 months of your salary.
yeah.
When before that, it was many different stones that could be an engagement ring,
Sure.
or really just a band.
Right.
You know.
But here's the thing. An engagement ring can be a knot that you tie with if you're in
that you
love.
found on the beach,
I mean,
the first date.
But I mean, an engagement ring I find it hilarious. First of all, I tell people, if your wife or your future wife, if you're a fiance, believes that commercial that says that her ring
Yeah.
must be that percentage of your salary, run like
Yeah.
hell. Do not marry that person who is, because it's just something that they just start these commercials 25 years ago, and now these
Right.
women grow up and they go, well, that's a fact.
But
2
then-
+ 2 = 4, and an engagement ring should be whatever percentage of my future husband's
Well,
salary.
just
There's
here's the
no
thing: just be
basis in
poor.
fact.
Quit your job when you want to get engaged, and then you have no salary.
Right.
And then you
right.
go back and find another job.
Well, you know what
This
the
wedding ring cost $60.
yeah, we got Travis
I
a
mean,
really
what-
cheap
it's
one
been-
too.
it's
60.
It
Oh,
hasn't
your
fallen
marriage.
off?
Your marriage is worthless. It
Cheap.
means nothing. Now
But
I
no,
know.
wait. So
She makes $20 a month. See how mathy I am?
I was really happy. My mom gave me her diamond, and
So was Travis.
yeah, well, that's fine with me. I would rather him not have to spend $1
diamond?
billion. Yeah, this is my mom's diamond. So she cut it off of her hand. Like she cut it off of her.
She cut her finger off.
She cut her finger off.
She
to
really
give it
loves
to
you.
us.
Why don't you have this diamond? I just don't get what is so great about diamonds. I have to be honest with you. And I'm lucky I have a wife who's the same way. She likes
Right.
rubies and garnet, stuff like that.
Spinels.
I mean, I get it to a certain degree, but again, I'm for the colors to make mine. But I
yeah.
mean, so you've got this thing, and that's wonderful, and you got it from your mom. So now it's
meaningful.
It's a keepsake.
And
it's an heirloom.
and my wedding ring is my grandmother's ring that I've worn since she died when I was like 6 or something.
Right.
So it's all meaningful. But my point is that when I got this, I love the meaning and I love that it's simple. I love all these things. But then I see my friends'
Right.
big rings
Yeah.
that have lots of stuff on the outside of it and down the thing, and I'm like, oh, mine looks so plain.
No, but you should
you
be
really do
proud of
compare.
that. But
Oh, I know.
But see, you got to fight against that girl triviality.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
not
mean,
what it
women.
is. It's not what
women.
it's
Let's face
for.
it. The same way that men have
you
to
compare
fight
each
being
other.
brutes. Men
Yeah,
have to fight
exactly.
being brutes, right? Men can be brutes easy and be obnoxious and get in fights. Men have to fight that and civilize
Right.
themselves. Women have to fight being trivial
Yeah.
and caring about things that have absolutely no reason to be cared about. If you are walking around and you feel like you're doing better than somebody else because your diamond is bigger, I mean, you are a useless human being.
Well, no,
mean,
I
you
don't-
have
I don't think-
nothing to contribute whatsoever to the world.
I don't think it's about maybe someone is better than me, but it is just a comparison. Like, oh, yours is bigger and cool and like
Right.
more ornate than mine.
Right.
And it's not saying like that means that I'm less than, but you do compare, just like your body shapes. Like, oh, I love my hips, but
Yeah.
oh, but she looks really good with her thinner hips. You know,
But
like
your hips are your hips. I
I'm just saying, it's a comparison
I
thing,
get, I get that, but it's just that sort of just I don't know. It's just, it's a completely phony thing that was created. It's almost like
Definitely.
we all make the joke that Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday. Well, it is. But we're all used to it. It's phony. You know what? It's phony that on that day, it's a way for people to sell things to you. And that's exactly what this is. And it's
look,
worth.
look,
It's like when
We can all agree that the diamond is not for the person wearing it, right?
right.
it's to show like
It's
look
for
what my
other people to
husband
go
can
like
do.
what. Yeah,
Right.
and I fell into that same trap when I got engaged. It was
Did you buy a diamond before you left her
yeah.
stranded at the altar?
first of all, it was no altar.
Can we hear this whole story? We've never heard it.
Maybe one day we'll get there.
You're gonna give out pieces of it like Greg's phone number.
Like Greg's phone number and Eric's last
3,
career.
by the way, 3. I'm just gonna before the end of the show. It's 3.
2123.
Oh, okay. 2123 is the next digit.
Awesome.
Killed the mystery there. Now people are going to tune out. They got what they came for, and now they're gone.
But
Don't you know how to
I'm
tease, man?
sabotaging this show before I go back to New York.
Both of her sisters were married, and the diamond was bigger than both of theirs, and one of them was a doctor.
Oh, how much?
Now
money?
I don't know
How
if he
much
was like
was
loaded
it?
at the time. I was making a boatload of money. At one
Okay,
point
but
in my
how
life.
much did you
Like,
spend on the engagement
a
ring?
boatload. Like I could burn the studio down and then rebuy it.
How much was the ring?
$50.
Yeah.
It was like $8,000 or $9,000.
And you didn't marry her?
Did
No,
you
I
get the
got it
ring?
back though.
Yeah. Well,
Well, she
Sold
was
it
cool.
for $3,000.
Which shows you right there the whole scam
Oh,
that
it's
you were
complete-
taking.
Travis-
You were taking
Complete
and,
company.
you know,
Travis paid $300.
Shane Company, located in the corner of you're an idiot for shopping here.
$300.
$300 to get it like set.
Yeah, okay, that's reasonable.
And you know
It's a
it does
bag of
have,
weed.
It's kind of nice. It does have.
It's a nice bag of weed.
That's how I. To me, the value of everything is, how many bags of weed is that? So
you
I
know
think if
what's
it's
kind of
one bag of
interesting?
weed, I think you're doing all right. That's not, hell, you can blow through that in a couple of weeks.
It's kind of interesting. Like you can see in the diamond that it has some flaws. Like if
Ah.
you look at it, it has like a little spot in it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But you know what?
Spot.
No,
I know.
That's
really.
not character. Don't tell me that's character.
No,
know
but
what?
We
it's
need-
kind of a metaphor for marriage. You know what I mean? Like it isn't going to be perfect,
Right.
and it's not about the
I like
money.
that attitude going in.
Yeah.
It isn't going to be perfect.
Well, it's not. If you go in expecting everything to be
No, I
hunky dory,
know.
then you're going to be.
Well, you're a rational
Really
person, and
disappointed.
you have a lot of your mind isn't as girly as a lot of girls. You know what I mean?
Wait,
I
tell
mean,
me-
you're very you think a little bit like a guy a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
think.
telling me this isn't going to be perfect forever? My relationship?
Well,
and-
that's why I was telling you. I was
Buy her
like,
a diamond, bro.
enjoy this love bubble because
Yeah.
it is the best.
I mean, things are going to
part.
calm down at some
Yeah,
point, and
yeah.
Yes.
Love Bubble sounds
May
like
not
a terrible band.
want to
name.
hang out constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you
That's
can
not
still
true.
want to hang out
That doesn't
constantly.
exist.
I still want to
That's-
hang out with
You're
Travis.
not in love. That's why you.
No,
you have found love.
she's in love.
You haven't.
You're in love and you're infatuated. The first thing that happens is you get that double thing. You're infatuated.
It's buying into
Well,
this.
not in
And
fact,
you're-
in lust. In lust.
Teach me more.
I know. I will. I can teach you, my friend, a lot of things. But you can teach me how to get sensible glasses at a good, reasonable price. So
I
I
will.
think
And
that's why our
diamonds.
friendship works.
And
we
gems.
can
You know they often have deals. Buy one get one free.
really.
Yeah, you can.
So you can
pick
get
several
two pair.
frames. Yeah.
So you can get 2 pair of glasses that make you sick for a few days for only $25.
Well, at that point, we're getting to the $35 range with the shipping, but
That's outrageous.
What is this company? We need to get him on
I'm
board
not
with the
giving
show.
away. I'm not giving away the secret.
We got to get him on
What
the
do you
show.
mean? What do you think they're going to run out of
We're all
glasses?
gonna have. Yeah, everyone's gonna have glasses. Then the prices are gonna go up because they can charge people more.
That's
They'll
true.
know.
You got to keep it a secret.
The demand's quite high now. Jack those prices.
Don't prices go down? with
28
demand?
bucks a frame now.
I don't understand.
They go up with demand? No,
I
because they're not
wanna-
producing
before we
more.
get off the
They're not
diamonds,
going to up their production. They're going to keep it exactly what
Right.
it is. Those poor Chinese people in the factory can only
Yeah, they're
work
doomed.
24 hours a day. There's no
They're doomed.
can't add any more hours.
There's nothing you can do for them. They're doomed. I want to say on the diamonds thing, the artificial value of something. It's like if you love a rock star or if you love some actor or actress and people get an autograph.
Yeah.
Like what the hell do you have, really, when you think about it? Autographs are the stupidest thing in the world. Like you meet somebody, they sign their name.
autographs.
Aren't you tired of it, Michael? But I mean, what do you really have? I mean, it's like, wow, I've got this guy. What do you have? There's really no value to it. I mean, there's a story in the cycle today where they're going to put a couple of not editions, Mein Kampf by Hitler are going to be auctioned off because he signed them.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, what makes the fact that
I guess
he
that it's
signed it?
authentic.
It's proof
what
that
does-
his hand was there.
Yeah.
If he touched it. Oh, who knows, man.
I mean, we know he wrote it, whether he signed it or not. We know he wrote it. We know he dictated it to
Imagine
Rudolph
if Jesus
Hess or
signed the Bible, man. That should be worth
Oh my god.
How many autographs
Just
did you
kidding.
sign?
Neither of those things are real. I hate Christians, remember?
Yeah, you're not helping me with my advertisers.
You know-
Many of them go to church.
How many
you know.
Eric von Hessler autographs are out there and now worthless? People go, oh, this guy, he used to
it's-
be something.
I-
now I have
exactly.
this, and it's in
Hey,
a drawer somewhere.
hey.
They're going to find it 15 years later.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna
that guy
be
who used to be
embarrassed
on that show.
that they even asked for it in the first place.
If having given some, I realized that the genius behind the autograph is it just creates an excuse for you to have a minute or two of FaceTime.
Right.
So it just removes the awkwardness because you're actually doing something. So the guy's writing, and if he's halfway decent person, he says, well, so what's your name, and blah, blah, blah. And you have a little conversation, and it makes it just like an icebreaker rather than just walking up to a stranger and saying, I'd like to talk to you for 2 minutes because I like your album or something, you know?
Right.
But so I guess there is more value there than even to a diamond, which I say the bigger diamond on a girl's finger,
the better the blowjob.
The bigger her dick.
No, maybe in the beginning, but I think what it means is the more mistresses the husband has, because he's trying to
overcompensate.
Like, I really, really love you in this state,
Right.
but when I travel, there's a lot of other people I love as well.
Whoops.
So that's what I see. I see the big diamond women
Ooh,
as
this diamond
having very-
pendant.
Okay, we are giving you some great opportunities again. This is your last shot at this. And by the way, I'm
Oh,
bet-
no,
jump
we have
on
to
it.
hurry.
Oh man, I can't.
2200. Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh god.
You missed it.
Oh, God.
You know what?
sure
You
did.
just have to move. That's the thing, is when you just got to get on that damn phone. And how often do they lie? Like, I have no idea that your phones are. The phones are just going. Now the prices.
Well, I think the auction. How can you trust the auction when that's going on?
Yeah, it's not like when you're at an auction. It's a room full of people. You can see what's going on. You heard the other guy say 350, so you said
Right.
400. This is completely manufactured. You got to be kidding me. People are calling the Gem Network 24 hours a day. Their lines are jammed.
My mom is busy from 2 a.m. to 11 a.m. People calling from all over the world
Crazy.
buying gems.
Oh
and
man, I would
it's
love
crazy.
to hear those conversations
It's
because
crazy. She has like friends now. Like people call and ask for her.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
'cause they-
yeah.
it's great.
Well, because QVC does this. They get in a lot of trouble, and they have to return money an awful lot, because what will happen is somebody will be 72, 73 years old, and they're alone, and like QVC, these hosts become their friends.
Sure.
I mean, they really, and so they like to talk on the phone because their kids don't call them anymore, whatever. And so, dad died a few years ago and there's money in the bank. And in order to keep having a reason to call and talk to their friends, they're spending money like crazy. And QVC has been taken to court, I think, a couple of times, and had to return money. Because at some point it becomes exploitative, even though they don't know that
Right.
That's a
necessarily.
big word, Eric.
Thank you very much.
Wasn't a compliment.
I know what
Exploitationative.
I was just confused.
I know what half of it means. Anyways, most of it I don't know. So, and also, now that we got our diamond talk out of the way,
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
very
Hot
important to
diamond
me.
talk.
Exactly. People are going to say, who else is talking diamonds? We are. And we didn't even do the blood diamond thing, which is very controversial. And I don't even know why.
Well, that's what I mean about the
why would you
factory
want
thing.
diamonds with blood on them? I don't even understand that issue.
I know, aren't those
Wah,
rubies?
wah.
Jokes.
Jokey jokes. Hey, I'm almost 50, so this theme song means something. Am I up over here? This theme song means something to me.
This is on a compilation CD called "Failed Music for Porno."
You really don't know what this is?
This is like some match game or something silly
It
like
is
that,
the
right?
theme for the dating game.
I was okay. I was pretty
Yeah,
effing
man, you're all right.
close,
No, you
considering
okay.
I had no idea and
All
I
right.
was stabbing in the dark.
No need to yell.
I still like the.
You're saying a lot of things that were porn related there.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Stabbing in the dark.
Well, that's a different one. That's an all. It's an
The
all,
host
all
of the
black
dating
cast
game.
stabbing in the dark.
What happened?
Jim Lang's dead.
Oh,
that means
Jim-
nothing to
not
your
Jim Lang.
generation. Jim Lang is dead. He wore really huge glasses.
Jimmy Lang.
And ended every show with, you guys never saw this even. He would end every
I saw
show,
this
all the contestants would blow a kiss.
Come on, we're going to throw a kiss. Ready,
Speaking
fire
of
one.
Throw a kiss. Everybody would throw a kiss to the audience.
I saw the other one. The guy with like the really long face. Didn't he do the No, he did the dating game later.
No, there was a dating game again, but are you talking about the newlywed game guy?
I don't. Well, he blew a kiss like that. Mwah.
That's him. That's this guy. Jim
Yeah,
Lang.
but I think it was a different
Bachelor
person.
Number 1, bachelor number 2, or bachelor number 3 that tickled your fancy.
So that's how that game worked. You had three. If you had
Tickle your
If you had a
fancy.
woman who was looking for a date, you had three bachelors.
Tickle
and then
your vagina.
They would ask questions. They would have the vagina tickling, and which was very controversial for the 70s. And then if it was a guy, they had three women over there. And so through the story of Jim Lang, who died at 81. I saw that Michael Jackson was once on the show back in 1972.
In order to keep our special guests from hearing anything about our lovely young ladies, we've been keeping him isolated offstage in a soundproof room. I'd like you to meet him right now. His single recording of Rockin' Robin is approaching the 2 million mark, and the album of came from Got to Be There as a
How old
Million
was he?
Seller.
Yeah.
He's the lead singer and the youngest member of the Jackson 5. He loves sketching and drawing, playing basketball and candy and bubble gum. Please join
He
me in a
must have been,
special
like,
dating
8
game.
years
Welcome
old.
for a
No,
fine
he's
young
probably
man,
48 when he
Michael
said that.
Jackson.
Yeah, his taste didn't change. He still had candy.
He likes candy and bubble gum.
Michael, we're going to tell you just a little bit about what's happening. There are 3 gals over there, and they're going to
pretty
answer your
young.
questions. Now, you listen
He looks
carefully
like
and then
13,
decide which one you think
13, I think.
would be the
On the
best one
dating
for you.
game at
Okay, when it's
13?
over.
Yeah.
Now, we'll start with a
Messing
hello.
around back
Bachelorette number 1, would you please say good afternoon to Michael?
Good afternoon, Michael.
All right, number 2.
They all sound like
Michael.
Michael,
And
as it
number
turns
3.
out.
Good afternoon, Michael.
All right, you
Are
ready,
those all
Michael?
him saying that?
That's it. Make yourself comfortable. Good luck to everybody.
I was going to get to his first question.
Number 1. I've never been out on a date before. What do 2 kids like us do on a date? We have fun. Go to a restaurant.
It does sound like him talking to himself.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds like that girl was trash.
We're gonna eat pasta.
Was Michael trying to date Cartman from South Park?
We're gonna open a fire hydrant. Play in the street.
Oh, mush mouth. Does she have marbles in her mouth?
Well, you going after this kid? Well, she's 70 now probably. Or something. She's how old would he be? 55, 56, something like that. Why'd you turn me back down again? I go back from my thing. Is there danger of this being up? Is there a danger?
There is danger
There
because
is
I don't trust
danger.
you with your computer.
Yeah,
You're
have, like,
getting the
Ustream
Facebook
going.
messages.
This should be our music bed for something.
So let's all throw a kiss to Jim Lang.
All right, bye, Jim Lang. Oh, nobody else does it?
We did because Michael's a douche. He won't do it. Throw a kiss, Michael.
I bet you can't do it, Michael. I
don't
bet you can't do it.
I don't play these force me to make silly movement games.
I've noticed that about you. But I have to say I
That's why
respect
you're
it in
single.
the end.
That's why you're single.
I grudgingly respect it, Michael. So there he is. He's gone. Jim Lang, big glasses.
Bye, Jim Lang.
How much do you think he paid for those glasses?
Well, he probably paid the same as you did, but it was 1964, so it would have been the equivalent of $100. I don't know when glasses started to cost so much money.
They were actually glasses at that point. You fall and it
Right.
shatters and the glass goes in your eye.
Right.
Yeah, the good days.
The good old days.
Well,
Now
I'll
there's
tell you
The
what.
risk involved.
Polymer.
The risk involved in sight. Bring it back.
In sight. The risk involved in sight.
You have to it forced people to be more careful back then because
you're not
there was a
riding
chance
bicycles.
that you could actually have a shard of glass go right into your eyeball if you did the wrong thing. So I think that now people don't care about that, and they're less. They
That's why you wouldn't hit a man with glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can hit a man with glasses.
Why was that? Is it because they'd break?
Because the glass, you
The
would
glass
break
would go
your
into your eye.
hand. Oh, and it would
Yeah, it
cut your hand.
Cut someone's hand too.
Cut your hand, and you could do way
it
more
was
damage.
self-serving. It
You-
wasn't
you
because,
probably-
well, I don't want his glasses to break.
Well, there's that, and it's also the thing is you might want to punch a guy in the face, but maybe you're not so angry that you want to lacerate his eyeball, which was always a potential possibility when you had glass in there.
Shoot for the cheek, man.
If I'm gonna punch a guy,
Just bop him in the nose one good time.
I want to get punched
That'll
like
stop him.
in Blazing Saddles. He's like, not in the face. Ooh.
I saw a
Thank you.
self-defense video once where if you're a guy who wears glasses and a man walks up to you, or a woman if you want to be attacked by a woman, if a person comes up to you, and you're like, hold on, please, give me a second to take off my glasses, and then as you're taking off your glasses, you throw them in the other person's face to distract them for a second,
And then
you throw
kick
your
him in the
punch.
nuts.
Well, I think you also go for the neck, the hole in the neck. That's
Oh,
how you
yeah.
can really
Yeah,
subdue someone. You
that's-
shove your finger in there and
I
they're going to
know,
the ground.
but if they're strong, they can just knock your hand away.
Oh,
But you
that's
want-
my
you-
move. I want to
not-
try it.
There's
Someone
no,
attack me. Someone attack me. I want to try that move.
There's no move like distracting somebody long enough to kick them in the nuts. Nothing is going to give you more time to get away or make your next move than just no one is above that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't care, the toughest man in the world.
You gotta-
no
yeah.
one can beat that. So
You push your heel into their foot, and then you knee them in the groin, and then you run serpentine.
I like the
I think you're running away from an alligator.
I think that there's some kind of sexism there that because that's obviously come from if a woman is attacked.
Is a woman going to attack me?
No. What I'm saying is, why would you always have a heel on? You might.
Oh,
just
no,
have
no. You
sneakers.
heel them. Like you jam
I
your
thought you
heel
meant
into their
like,
foot.
The idea was, of course,
Oh.
women will always be wearing high-heeled shoes.
You put your stiletto out in his eye.
Ladies, let your stilettos work for you.
That's right, girls.
It can be a weapon as well.
Speaking of being a girl,
Yes.
I'm pregnant.
Yes, you
And
are.
yeah,
When did this happen?
guys, and it's one of you guys in the room. The test will
Wait,
be
don't let
revealed.
people know
Is
till
it
the
the
end.
muffin?
Is-
No, I know you went to get your gestational diabetes
I did.
looked out, and Are you diabetes free?
I'm all clear. The stupidest test in the world. I got four. I got like track marks on my hand. I got 4 pokes
Been riding the
in
horse.
the arm yesterday. So I had to I didn't eat from the night before, like 8 o'clock until 1.
It
next
doesn't
day.
show. You still got a hell of a belly.
She had to go that almost an entire meal without eating.
No, until 8 to 1 p.m. the next day. 8 p.m. to 1
you
p.m.
missed breakfast.
No, I missed breakfast and almost lunch. And all of the snacks in between.
I have eaten in 3 weeks.
She's a grazer.
I was so hungry. So anyway, I passed them all.
So
and
you
I
proved it. You
hate
proved
this
it.
test now. I hate it.
What did you have to do? Pee on your hand or something? What had to be done?
I have peed on my hand lately, actually.
Accidentally? Or?
Yeah, as part of being pregnant. It really
What?
sucks.
What?
What does that even
Are you
mean?
losing control of your
A little bit.
Have you become a squirter?
Like I'm wiping after I pee, and then I sneeze, and then a little pee gets on my hand. I know, it's a problem.
Wow, that is about if you wanted the opposite of sexy.
If you weren't masturbating before, now
Guys,
is the time.
it's true.
No, you told me this. Sometimes you sneeze now, and there's a little.
Yeah, like whoop, whoa,
Whoa,
I gotta go.
What happened?
I know.
That means that baby's trying to get out.
Come out, baby.
Come on right now. What's the earliest the baby could decide to come out?
I think it's like 36 weeks, I think, is when she's cooked.
Yeah.
And then you can
The rest are just being lazy until they come out.
it's like, you gotta grow a little bit more. Maybe there's some dangers, having it early like that, but you're probably fine. Yeah.
And do you want to, before we go to news,
Yeah.
you were yelling at me beforehand, which I don't know if the cameras are on or not, but when the cameras go off, honestly, this is a plea to people who are watching and listening now. Help me and save me, because she bullies me. When she's on the air, she's all, oh, look, I'm sweet and nice and pregnant. And then when the cameras aren't on, she just comes after me and bullies me. And one of the things that she yelled at me about this morning was she said that I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about when I bring up how to find our podcast on iTunes.
It's true.
Or our Amazon click-through. And she was more aggressive than passive, but they were both in there sort of suggesting that maybe I should turn those
I was being very
duties over.
direct with you.
You were being.
I wasn't like,
some call that bullying.
So it's like, you just, you're just stupid,
Yeah, men don't admit to being bullied by women because it's embarrassing. And I'd like to break through that.
I'd admit to
that.
it. I like being the victim.
Oh yeah, you like
really.
doing that?
I like the
Down.
attention that I get.
How far does that go? You like you like to be smacked around a little bit, put in your place, huh? Do you tell us?
No, not that. Telling the other people that you're being bullied.
Right.
They'll buy you a drink, then talk shit about you behind your back, but that's fine.
But you get a
But
free
you got a free
drink out of
drink.
it.
Yeah.
You're not there for them to talk bad about you. You're not part of
care.
it. You get the free drink
Talk
and move
about me.
on.
Because I'm the one scamming you. No
That's
one's
right.
bullying me.
That's right.
No one bullies me.
No one bullies you.
No. I'm the man who wears glasses and knows how to use them in self-defense.
No one makes fun of those.
and
gloves.
press that hole in their neck.
Yeah.
So
They know. You can tell. There's just a sense of calmness about me. Like, that guy, I don't know. There's something strange. If I set him off, I'm done. It's
Well-
not true.
right.
But this whole thing I put on's an act. I am an act.
I know you are. There's nothing authentic
China.
about you. I've known you for years. I'd have absolutely somebody I said, tell me about
No
Fred.
one knows
would
who I
no
really
idea.
am.
I would have no idea. I don't think your parents know who you really are.
I don't
I
speak
think
to them.
at times that you
What's
don't
worse
even know
is
who you
he
really are.
doesn't know who he is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even think that he knows. He thinks it's an act, and this is how.
32 years old. How's the dating going? How's the new girl? Fine.
Oh, you don't even
Fine.
Don't talk to your parents.
No.
Oh, that's your parents are asking you that question?
Yeah. How's it going? It's good.
He's flipped head over heels over this girl, and he won't even relate that to his mom, who might
Because then you
ask
get
the
the
questions.
questions. Nobody
Well, I
wants to
know you
deal
get the
with
questions,
that.
but I mean, give them 2 or 3 minutes.
Nah, man.
I think it's hard, right? When
I
it's,
just say, nah.
When it's-
Nobody.
when it's new like
'Cause it'll
that
change
to go on and on about like, oh, she's so great and oh, I'm so excited, and then it makes it very real and a lot of pressure then is put on
Yeah.
it. So,
Well, here's the thing.
They wanna know
You're
if you're gonna get-
smiling. It must mean something. You never smile. Like, oh, God. Okay, you got me.
You're miserable. In your
I
own
was
home.
like, I'll give you that. That's all you're getting.
And then you watch like an action movie with your dad. That's your idea of bonding.
Yeah, then nudity comes on, and I have to shield my eyes.
Your
My
mom-
dad's still in the room.
cries.
So
My
in
son
order
won't talk to me.
this bullying
Oh,
this
yeah.
morning. So I'm just going to turn it over to you to do 2 things before I do Patreon and then we do news. I would like you to explain to people how to get the podcast off of iTunes.
All right.
And actually, Autumn said, I think you should let me and Michael handle this because we're younger and we do this.
I didn't say that.
You log on to your computer. And
Yeah.
That porn
Just
machine.
Scream at it.
That porn machine that folds up.
And also tell people about Amazon and what
Do you
can be
want to
done.
do iTunes? I'll do Amazon.
Sure.
All right.
All right, Michael.
Go to iTunes, download the podcast. Autumn?
That's what I did. That's what I said. She said,
Oh, you.
No,
you
yeah,
even
go
said-
to download it, subscribe to it, and then if you like the show, we'd love to do as many stars as you possibly can. That helps us get ranked, and it's a lot of fun. Leave some good comments or bad comments. Just
it's activity that counts.
be honest, and we like that. And
How do I find it?
you can find it on iTunes and just search Eric Von Radio.
What
You
if
go
I
to
don't have an
iTunes.com,
iPhone?
You can look at it. I don't know how to do that. Now it's back to you, Autumn.
You can any RSS feeder if you search Eric Von Radio, one word.
Right.
Yes.
So if people have Stitcher
Yeah.
and they search Eric Von Radio,
As
Mr.
one
X.
word.
We have a new member here who can't be seen. Mr. X, do you have Stitcher?
Yes.
Can you go on there and look up Eric Von Radio, one word, and see if we come up? And I would like to
Because a
find
friend
out.
of ours, yeah.
62 reviews.
I know. There's a lot.
All 5 stars.
Yeah.
I
'cause
think
we're
that we
the
deserve
best.
5 stars, quite frankly. This show's damn good. I know we just sit here and rattle on, but I mean, it's
I
damn
don't know, the
good.
Mind Muffins.
I can't
whatever
wait
that show was called.
That new one
Ear
star is
biscuit.
going to come out today. Like Eric's kind of arrogant. I don't like it.
I'd give us 6 stars if they would allow it. I voted twice and gave us 10 stars.
You know, I was on your iTunes account and I voted 5 stars. So Eric Von Hessler has.
Well, I know, but
voted
we're
5
only
stars.
one. I mean, if you,
I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah.
You
I went
voted
in
5
and
stars for
also
your own
this
show.
is, and I did tell people this because I did this when I first signed up. I downloaded every one of them, and then I took them off my device because it helps with the.
It's about
how
the
many
activity,
the
right,
activity
Michael?
that goes
I
on,
think
right?
I think you mentioned that.
Here we go.
Yeah. The more activity we can get, the better. It just helps us get right. That which means more people will be able to listen, and then we
Right.
can do more fun stuff. And it's
Exactly.
the more we can build, the more we can grow that. The iTunes specifically,
Right.
the better the show will grow and be better and more.
Are you
fun.
going to give me a negative comment? I
No,
don't want to start my
no.
day with a
this
negative
is
comment.
This is the latest review. Awesome show. Love it. Solid show here. Sure to be picked up by someone soon. Michael curses too much, though.
Yeah, I think that this is a general thing. But the reason I'll tell you why. Because first of all, because
Who's the real Greg Russ? What is that?
I am
See, I would never do that. I would have a completely fake
what
name.
username is I used to be called Decker? What is that?
That's not that one either. I've got another fake name out there. You would know.
I can't remember it right now.
I know it. Should I reveal
No,
it?
don't reveal it.
Okay.
That's my Jake, but don't give away the last name.
No, but the reason that
the
Michael
snake.
swears the way that he does is Michael's a stand-up comedian, and his rhythms are more in line with
How people actually talk.
right. Exactly.
How we all talk. In
Maybe
our
a little
lives.
bit. You say the S word a lot.
Bullshit. Do you see what I did?
You moderated it.
Yeah.
That's very. You did the B word, which actually turned out to be the S word.
I talk
That's
like
part of your-
everybody talks, or that everybody. I mean,
Right.
at least language-wise.
But I mean, if we
everybody
were on,
curses.
if we were governed by the
It's so
FCC,
stupid.
you wouldn't just do it anyway,
No,
right?
No.
Well,
I know how to hold my tongue. That's how we met. I was doing radio.
yeah,
with
coming in, and I said that guy's he doesn't swear a lot, so I want to work with him. I had no
Turns
idea
out.
what was going to happen. So so go to iTunes, download us. Have you got-
Subscribe on your phone on the podcast app. That subscriptions, ratings, and comments are what helps us the most. So
and Mr. X, were you able to find us on Stitcher?
No.
Oh,
no.
So,
way to lie.
Who doesn't know what they're talking about now?
Well,
Autumn
so
Fisher.
a friend of ours
I'm
searched
disappointed.
for it because he has an Android, and
Right.
he went to Eric space Von, and he was like, I can't find it.
Right.
And
it's-
so it has to be one word.
Eric
So that's
Von Radio.
what I was going on. So
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that we're on the Stitchers, and I think Stitcher is the most popular non-iTunes
Yeah.
app.
Okay.
It was waiting for people to get their stuff. But
Almost
what would
dropped
I
the
know?
coffee.
I'm almost 50, and you're a youngster.
Yes,
And
let-
you're so much more hip than I am.
let the youngsters explain the technologies.
Michael wipes his nose too much too.
All right.
He's
Well,
always
let's talk
caught.
about that.
Once a show, he's caught with his fingers, diddling up
Well,
there.
you know
But
what
the
he could
camera
use?
didn't catch me, did it?
I don't know. Sometimes I see
You
it.
know what he could use is a handkerchief, and you know where he could get something like that?
Amazon.
Amazon.
That's where I get all of my handkerchiefs.
That's right. You could probably get a dozen of them for $3
Mm-hmm.
on Amazon. If you have Prime, then it's free shipping. But what you're going to want to do is go to ericvonradio.com, click through our Amazon banner link, and I just put in it so that it opens up in a new window.
Okay.
You're welcome.
And also, if you have an ad blocker, you got to turn it off for 1 minute there to make that happen. Because if you have an ad blocker, it won't come up.
Right.
Got a lot of people. I don't see it there.
Right.
So most ad blockers, you can say this exception this one time. Click through, bookmark it, and then you can have your ad blocker on. Right. Once you bookmark it.
Once you
Right.
bookmark it, turn your ad blocker on because nobody wants to see ads. except for our amazing ones.
Yes.
And then you'll always have it. You can click on your bookmark, and then anytime you're going to purchase something from Amazon, which
get
of
a
course
kickback.
you will, because what else do you do? I don't know how to shop outside of.
No. This whole studio came from Amazon.
There you go.
Right.
So yeah, when you buy something, we get a little percentage.
How much have we
back.
gotten? Like $8.35 already.
Yesterday it was like $2.
Yeah.
But today it's up to. I can't wait to tell you.
See that, Mr. X? You gonna come on board? I mean, we're
Five-
bringing in like
oh.
$10 a day here with this enterprise.
What percentage? What's the percentage that you
It
get?
started
the
at
kickback?
4%, and now it's at. Maybe we shouldn't talk about that. I don't know.
oh.
Why should you not talk
I
about
don't
that?
know.
Why-
They
I'm-
want- no, I
I'm
mean,
going to stick with the vacuum. Buy a vacuum. I have the most expensive vacuum up here, the Eureka Sanitaire model SC6080 commercial carpet extractor. It's not
That's a
even
good
a
one.
vacuum.
That's a good
It's
one.
I
an
think we'll make
extractor.
6%.
And that thing runs normally for $3,500. You can get it on Amazon for $1,300.
So 6% of that, I think we'll get.
Yeah, someone buy that.
yeah, somebody buy that. And we'll get
Each day I'll look up the most expensive item in a different category, and we'll get someone to buy that.
You know what's really
We're
cool
set.
is that we get to see what you bought. We don't know who you are, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know who the individual
there might be
is.
like an email or a username.
Huh?
There might be something on there that we can look at. Let's play with it.
But well,
Yeah,
I
you
want to
can
say.
see it.
So, what are people buying? Because we
People-
want to be able to go to future advertisers and say, hey, if you sell vacuums, we have people who buy them. We don't
Somebody
know what
bought-
our people are buying.
Somebody bought Songs for the Turntable, the new Driving and Crying
Fantastic.
album.
They're right there. We had an effect.
Yep.
Somebody bought a pack of comic book dividers, you nerd.
And 5 comic book showcase displays.
That's good.
All right, so we got good.
Yeah.
We got a good.
That's a hobby I always wanted to get into, but I never could.
Hey, what if someone
Because I
returns
was
the
busy
item?
banging chicks.
I'm not sure.
If someone returns it, does the money go
Yeah, that's a
away
good
from us?
question.
Because I'll buy everything and I'll return it all.
Yeah.
Do we get to keep the?
It
I'm
does have a
sure-
section here: total items shipped, total items returned, total refund. So,
Yeah. They wait. Yeah.
so far we've made $8.61.
It's a start.
That's something.
It's a
yeah.
start.
Yeah. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So it's a good time to hit me with that Patreon music, and I will let people know. First of all, I want to thank everybody who has joined our team, become a team member. If you go to patreon.com, look for Eric Von Radio. Unlike in Stitcher, apparently, you will actually find our website, and there's a way there that you can help be part of our team. If you're tired of what radio sounds like on the airwaves, you want to do something about it, we'd love to have you. Just go to that page. You'll see the perks that you get. Michael has designed a bumper sticker and a T-shirt that we will be sending out to those people who are at those levels in the next week or so. We'll get those out. Wait, first we have to get them made. It doesn't take too long, though. And then we'll get them out. So we have the design. We'll get them out. Thanks to everybody who have us over $1,000 a month. We really appreciate it. Please go to patreon.com, look for Eric Von Radio, and join this team. Why? Because we're really cool.
True.
Now, Autumn, what in the hell is in the news?
Well, first I want to talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is such a weird
It's
concept.
a weird thing that I'm really interested in, and it's gone up. Well, we should explain what it is first. Maybe there are people who don't know what Bitcoin is. Alex, it's a. Oh, you're so young and hip, and
I
now you
know.
got to turn
Okay,
to
let me
Grandpa.
try. Let me
to
try.
explain the new digital currency.
Let me try. Bitcoin is a
Nice try.
currency.
Nice
Hold on,
try.
it's a currency that is mostly electronic.
Mostly.
electronic.
All electronic.
Okay, you.
It's all electronic.
Didn't this segment start out with her saying, "I want to talk about Bitcoin"?
I want to talk about the story I
Have you
read about
even-
Bitcoin.
Have you even read this story?
Everybody
Do you even know
knows
what it is.
No, I know.
This is a sham.
only a little bit know what it is.
Bitcoin is a alternate currency that is purely digital, and the way that
Digital.
it works is,
Tell me.
there's an algorithm involved. You have to actually mine for Bitcoins through computers, and what happens is every time a new Bitcoin, you got to go work through the algorithm problem, and you create a Bitcoin.
And your
And
computer does that algorithm for you.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that takes energy. It costs you money. There's a
Right.
whole thing there that would put pressure on you not doing too much of it. Now, here's the thing: every Bitcoin that's made, the algorithm gets more difficult to make the next Bitcoin. It polices itself so
Right.
that you can't do what the United States government and a lot of other governments are doing now, which is just printing money and loading it. So the idea is that you have the actual real value. Then that stuff is speculated on and traded. So it's a commodity in the sense that, well, just like any kind of currency is, the dollar has this kind of value compared to other currencies in the world. So this Bitcoin has gone up as high as, I think, 1,500, no, more than that. I don't know. It's been very high, and then it swings very low. And the thing is, does it really exist? There
Right.
are places where people actually buy things with Bitcoin.
It used to be draw drugs. It was on the
Silk Road, and
Oh,
you
really?
could. But there are ATMs now showing up in places where you can get dollars for your Bitcoin accounts. But it's in trouble now for a couple of reasons.
Yes.
One is one of the main places for Bitcoin, Mount Gox or something like that is called, suddenly shut down a few days ago. And people aren't able to get their money back out, and it's kind of vague as to exactly what's going on. Also, a bunch of countries are regulating it because they're worried that you can it's an easy way to launder activity through Bitcoin and cover up criminality and possibly terrorism as well.
Right. And so this senator is saying that it's dangerous for Americans, which I guess is dangerous for everyone.
Yes.
That because it is volatile and people can use it
wants
for
to
money
ban it.
laundering. He wants to ban it.
Which I don't even know if
Under
that's possible.
Under that assumption, that means that they should ban the stock market because that's volatile.
It
and
is
that could be
volatile, right.
dangerous.
Right.
Like he's just because he hasn't figured it out.
Right.
He thinks it's going to
Also,
take
what if
anything
they-
out of his pocket.
How
then all
about
of a
this
sudden-
idea? How about this idea? If people take a chance on something and it fails, then they've just learned a huge lesson.
Anarchy?
Why does the government
Yeah.
always have to put a big, fat, soft pillow down there for us? Sometimes the best thing is to, I made bad choices in investments. And let me tell you something. You know what I learned? I learned to put all my money in mutual funds. I learned early on that I'm not good at picking stocks. I wouldn't have learned that if I didn't lose some dough doing it. And so, to me, Bitcoin is a thing. It will either turn into something real that people get rich off of. It might be something midway down the road that isn't that big and isn't that bad. Or it might collapse and a bunch of people lose their money. But you know what? A lot of people lost their money in 2008 on American dollars
Right.
and their real estate. And so I don't see that this is any different. As long as I can't sue Bitcoin because I lost money, everything's fine. Take your own risk. If you want to get into Bitcoin, you should be of the mindset that you don't want the government backing it
I mean,
up.
what's the difference between like trading cards or silver? Because silver is just a
Right.
commodity. It's a
Right.
it's a
Well,
Bitcoin
it's controlled.
Bitcoin is a coin
Right.
that you just can't physically touch.
There are establishment controls, I guess, like the SEC monitors Wall Street and all this kind
Right.
of stuff. And that's how they're saying, well, my God, there's no regulation here. And also there's no money in it for the government. The government does not like us to get ourselves involved in any activity that doesn't somehow kick back to our government.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The senator that came out against it
Manchin.
Manchin
Manchin.
says the roller coaster fluctuations in the value of Bitcoin also mean average American consumers have a lot to lose by transacting in Bitcoin. And
Then
you're right.
let
That
them-
is the same thing as the
Yeah.
stock market or any other commodity.
And also, hello, Senator, let us lose. It's
Right.
okay. It's okay to lose.
But there are some interesting things about
Let's pass
how
legislation that says both teams in the Super Bowl win. I mean, people lose. That's
Right.
part of life, and that's how you learn.
But what about? I mean, so they in the article it mentions it's difficult to reverse fraudulent transactions.
Right, but so if I know that going in,
You know that it's a dangerous.
I know
place
that
to
it's
be.
dangerous. And
Yeah.
I'm speculating, right? If I go out, there's a new gold rush going on because of the drought out west in areas of California. There's the
People are
water.
finding-
they're finding
yeah,
gold,
right.
and so people are going out and trying to find gold. Well, back in the 1849 or whatever, when the first gold rush was going on, it wasn't actually the first, but the famous one was going on. There was a lot of risk in that too. I had to get into a covered wagon or something or whatever,
Right.
get on a train, people died trying to get from the East Coast to California or to find gold. I mean, there's a risk to life. There's a risk.
Yeah.
It's okay. The government does not have to make everything comfortable.
But you're right. It probably has something to do with the government not being involved in this
Right.
currency.
Right.
So it's
They're afraid
scary,
that-
volatile. It's dangerous. Don't use it.
Yeah.
Let's ban it.
God forbid. They haven't figured out a way to tax it yet, probably. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they have. Maybe but
Well, I guess it would be income.
it's a great way to buy pornography, I would think, and keep it from your family members.
Who's buying pornography?
No, I don't mean like,
Really just dated
I mean-
yourself there.
No, I mean
have my-
online. I don't mean buying magazines.
same.
No, again, paying for it.
Yeah.
in
Who's
general.
blind?
No,
You
I
said you
agree.
weren't
No, I agree. I agree. But these somebody's paying for pornography, or there
Ooh.
wouldn't be that much ability to pay for pornography.
I don't
It
know,
still
man.
makes a lot of
They're-
money.
They're losing a lot of dough.
Well,
Maybe-
I think
maybe you're
they're
talking
the
about-
one place to make money online is pornography.
Maybe you're talking about people.
It is still making money. I don't know how because there is no reason to
Well, yeah,
pay for it at
it's
all.
making money on advertising because the
Right.
ads run on free porn, which is amazing
Right.
to me that
Gross.
the most money being made on the internet is by advertising in pornography. However, when Imus says nappy-headed hose. He gets taken off the air because advertisers freak out.
Right.
He wasn't in incognito mode, so
Right.
Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Pornography drives technology. It quite often does. When the VHS tape came along, by the time it got into the mainstream and all movies were on it, but in the very beginning, not everybody could afford the top loader, Betamax. It was beta tapes and all that kind of stuff. It was the people.
Top loader. That was my first porno.
So you had a group of people who were willing to spend. Movies cost. I'm sorry, I missed that.
That's all right. It wasn't funny.
She said top loader sounds like a porno, right?
I said that was my first porno. Let's keep going.
Well, I like the fact you did that because you rolled over the fact that I said costed, which is not a word.
Oh,
so it cost.
It costed so much money.
Each movie would $90, $100, $120 for to
crazy.
get a movie, and that was The Godfather too, and things like that. They cost a lot of money, and the people who were willing to drive that so that the prices went down were all the people who realized I could spend a little more money and never have to be embarrassed by walking into a porno theater again. Which before the VHS, that's what it was.
Right.
So you had so many. It was the porn people paying $100 for each porno that drove that industry to the point that they had enough money in there that prices could actually come down, and you ended up. Then they went down to like $25. Then the blockbusters came in and it was rentals.
Man.
There's the
I remember
history.
sneaking around, like pretending I wanted to watch a foreign movie, and then really I would just be poking my head over to like what are these videos all
Remember
about?
the video stores that when they wanted to go to porn, it was like a saloon.
Yeah, the saloon doors.
The saloon doors you walk through.
When I was in
like
college-
Clint Eastwood.
In college, they had the video store around the corner from our house. You had to buy a key to get in. Like you had to go to the front. And it was like a $5 deposit, and you got your $5 back when you
Right.
kept the key though for however long you wanted it. And so you could just go in there and then like go to the porn door. It was not embarrassing at all because I was always typically drunk or high every time I went in there. So
Well, you know what kind of porn you can get in those porno sections? of
Smells
those
like a
movie
seg.
theaters?
what kind?
Gay porn.
All right.
There's a Texas GOP.
I don't
you
agree-
enjoy-
I don't agree with that. man.
Autumn, do you enjoy the gay porn?
How
How come women don't get into male gay porn the way that men get into two
Male
women
gay
together?
porn.
There was
Yeah,
that
male gay
show,
porn. Well, yeah.
gay as folk is what it's called. Gay as folk. Gay folk.
Queer as
Gays-
Folk.
Queer as folk. Yes, Queer as folk. I used to watch.
Logo, my favorite station.
No, it was on HBO.
Oh.
Yo, and it was sexy. Like it was really hot guys kissing.
It was a remake of a British show, I think. or
I'm sure it
something. It was
was.
a different show, and
Yeah.
they remade it.
And I've never like wanted to watch gay porn, but it was just nice to see two good-looking people kissing, and it
So,
really
there-
the maleness
Yeah.
kind of went away because they were just hot. You know, so that's.
So you would, but you never have. You never like.
I'm not interested. It's two dudes.
Yeah.
You know, like
My wife
I
told
like
me.
the balance.
My wife is like, it would just seem like two like dogs having sex to me. You know.
Your wife is against the gays. She
No,
calls
she's
them dogs.
not against the gays. She's not turned on
Just
by.
kidding.
I'm telling you.
That's a soundbite. That someone's isolating
No,
that.
that's isolating.
My wife is
Call the
more
gays
open-minded
dogs. Yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
Her family comes from Europe. You know, she thinks everybody should be nude all the time.
You know your family comes from Europe.
All of our families come from Europe, unless you're Native American or from Latin America.
Well,
Or somewhere
yes. No, the gay porn is not interesting.
It's just it's interesting to me that men love to watch two women together, though.
Do you know that a lot of the guys in gay porn are straight?
I did
But
know
the
that.
money is so good that it's
Yeah,
like it's
I'm
the
not
idea.
buying that.
It's the idea that how much money would it take for you to have gay sex?
No,
There's
no,
a
no, no.
documentary
The
where
issue is
the
some
girlfriend
people,
is on the sidelines. She's like, "I love you. You're so great. I love you, honey." And he's like, "Yeah."
All right, look. If a
That's
guy
gay porn. Sound.
if a guy make that noise again, and that's going on, and you're gonna
Gay
get and so you're gonna get up from that, and get out of the bed, and go, "I'm straight." I mean,
knows?
obviously there are varying degrees of straightness
Listen.
because you have to be turned on as a man. You can't make yourself. I guess now there are pills, but
How you have to be more of a man. This is I forget what comedian said this, but you have to be even more of a man to have sex with a man because that man can like kill you.
yeah, he could hurt you.
Yeah. You're like,
if he doesn't like what you're doing, he can just start pummeling
yeah, you got to be
punch you,
you got to
and
be
beat
a
you
real
up.
man to have sex with another man.
All right, enough of the gay sex. As I've been watching this, I think every day, once a day, it lands on this topic.
Well, it's just that this guy, state senator from Texas, Dan Patrick,
Yeah.
he accidentally
love this
he's a
guy.
very outspoken opponent of
But he ain't
same-sex
good
marriage.
at spelling their phones.
Well,
First of all, these guys
somebody-
don't put out their own tweets
Yeah.
anyways. It's their office.
It's kind of like so he has his beliefs.
By the way, if you're
that-
known in the public life as someone who's totally against gays, I know what you're thinking about late at night. I mean,
think
you
think so?
obviously. I mean, they've done studies on this. The most outspoken anti-gay people are
Who was that-
secretly ashamed of the fact that
Who
they
was
have
that
those
like
feelings.
evangelical Christian?
Oh yeah, the one in Colorado. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and he was like the leader for
Yeah.
Oh,
anti-gay.
Ted
Yeah,
something?
Ted something.
Ted something.
And
Yeah.
now, and they found out that he had this escort for a number of years who was
Yeah.
like
And he was
this
banging
Greek,
dudes.
Yeah, he's banging
Right.
dudes. Right, exactly.
Ted
Ted Haggard.
Thank you.
But
Mr.
now
X.
is he like out of the closet gay, or does he?
I'm sure it's like I've been going to
Yeah.
my clergy and talking with my
He is
creator.
the clergy. How are you going to go to?
Well,
He's
he
the
has to
clergy.
go-
He's got to go to another. He's got to go to somebody who's got a bigger hat than his.
Well, so this guy, Dan Patrick, tweeted, "Marriage equals one man and one man. Enough of these activist judges. Favorite if you agree. I know the silent majority out there is with us." And so it was promptly removed, but of course everyone captured
Yeah,
it.
right.
And it was removed and changed to marriage equals one man and one woman.
This is
And-
because there was a ruling or something where the
Right.
anti-gay people won a ruling or something. So he was trying to tweet out, "Hey, we won this."
And he did, and after that, it was kind of funny. He he tweeted with the hashtag Twitter typo, "We have a new job opening on our campaign, social media intern."
Yes.
So, I mean, even though I am against his beliefs,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that he made a joke about
Well,
it.
you have to. There's nothing you can do. I mean,
But he could be one of these like douchebag, serious,
Right.
like, no, this is not funny.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
but it's like, all right, he has a little bit of a sense of humor. So now it's like, okay,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
it's
believe that,
fine.
and I'm not mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's who cares? He's got a sense of humor. He wants to lynch gay people.
he did
But-
not.
Well, he didn't say
I
that.
don't. But he never tweeted that he wanted to lynch gay people. That's
He didn't
that's
tweet
taking
it.
That's
He just-
taking
Wait,
it-
now
He
this
just
is the
thinks it.
this is the thing that we talk
He
about.
thinks
if
that
you
he's
come
getting
out,
he's getting a Hummer from a
See,
from
this
a
is see what you're doing, Michael. See what you're doing?
250-pound
this is the argument that we've been talking about
muscle-bound bear.
for the last couple days.
Are you describing
Rolling over you,
yourself?
sorry.
No, I
Have you
weigh
had sex
300
with this
pounds.
guy?
I weigh 300 pounds.
You would definitely be a bear, man. There must be.
currently am a bear.
I mean, guys. There must be guys who are just all over
If
you,
Jimmy
I would
Kimmel is a
imagine.
bear, then you are a bear for sure.
I'm a grizzly.
Yeah, you're a grizzly bear.
I want to be your seal or whatever.
cub?
Your cub.
I just think in public life, when
What
you're
is
a
seal?
politician.
Nothing.
Hairless.
Yeah, I guess. No, that's a
Shiny.
twink.
No, what's the other one? An otter, not seal.
Oh, what is an otter?
An otter is a twink with hair.
Oh, I love it.
So it's a young guy with not.
Not
clean.
like a big beard, like a big bearded
just mean-
guy.
just mean-
looks
Pictures
like
that it didn't happen.
It's actually to say that would be wrong. Just it's somebody who's not old with hair. Whereas like a bear is usually like an older guy, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I learned all this from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I
so
love-
there's one episode where they run down all of them. And otter that's the way that was described.
I love it. I want to be an otter.
You
have
are.
to shave.
You are. You're like a young person with hair.
I don't think I can be female and be an otter.
You're a female otter. They have female otters.
I
right?
like the homepage of Ted Haggard. It's a picture of his wife with a link
Oh,
that
yeah.
says "Why I Stayed."
Why I stayed.
Oh, wow.
Because God wants to help you work through that. You know, a lot of people on the left, and I'm an atheist, but I'm not hostile to Christianity or necessarily religion. And a lot of people who aren't religious think that the people who are religious are saying that things like that never happen. They're not. I mean, the truly religious believe that man is imperfect.
See, they're not even acknowledging it. They said in November 2nd, 2006, Gail Haggard, which is the worst name ever.
Gail Haggard.
Her life changed forever when her husband,
Like
Ted
a
Haggard,
messy storm.
founder
Yeah.
of the New Life Church in Colorado Springs and president of the National Association of Evangelicals, was publicly exposed in a scandal.
Yes.
That's
A
it.
scandal.
A scandal.
A scandal.
Well, we all know what
scandal?
that was.
Well, A Scandal was actually the name of the gay porn he was doing. as it turns
I love
out.
it.
So,
So,
I hate these.
I was making a point there when Michael derailed me, and now I can't remember what the hell
You
I
were
was going
saying
with.
that his.
I was trying
he
to
said that
derail
they
us
were-
from going over all
No.
the different types
What I'm
of
trying
gay
to say,
names.
what I'm trying to say is that most people who are kind of don't like the religious right and all this stuff, they believe that the religious right believes that they're perfect because they are God-fearing. But that's not truly the belief. They believe that they are sinners. They believe that they are fallen and that they are imperfect. And so truly religious people do not scatter and run from something like this. It's the moment that you have to come in. Now, their belief is that God doesn't like you being gay, but their solution quite often isn't ostracizing. Their first solution is come back into the fold
Help them.
and we'll work on this together,
Yeah.
which is completely ridiculous because you cannot do anything to change the thoughts in your head. That's how people go crazy. We have so much mental illness because people try they evaluate themselves and they judge themselves by the thoughts that are in their head, and you have zero control over the thoughts that are in your head. Nobody knows where they come from. Nobody knows where they're birthed. You should be judged by, and you should judge yourself by, your actions in life. So you get and then you move to another thing. I don't think the action of being gay, there's nothing wrong with that, but these guys like Ted Haggard, they fight against it, and the reason that he's known as being anti-gay and all this stuff is because he hates himself, and he's trying to fight that war himself, and so he projects it out to other people. If anybody who in a bar anywhere who just stands up with that, no, it's wrong, I might be wrong, but I immediately think that guy's at war with himself.
Sure. Well, yeah, anybody that's speaking out so aggressively, it seems like, why do you care so much?
They hate that side of themselves.
Yeah, why don't you just live your own life?
Because they believe God thinks it's bad.
That's what I'm saying.
But then again, didn't God create it?
Oh.
Ultimately, he created everything, didn't he?
No, they're sinners.
Serial killers.
They're giving in
All
to
of
their
it.
baser instincts.
No, man, that's the devil.
You can't give
That's
God
the
the
devil.
credit for the sunset and then say, well, serial killers. He had nothing to do with that. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, if God and the devil and all that kind of stuff, I mean, couldn't God just wipe out the devil? Like,
Well, I
is the
wonder
devil
this.
as strong
you have
as
to
God?
have you have to
So
have
the
light
devil,
in the dark.
it's
get him
not
on
like
the
the
phone.
devil is friends with God. He doesn't rule hell in conjunction with God, like God's his boss.
Right.
They're enemies, right?
Yeah.
So if you went to hell, why wouldn't the devil accept you? Like, hey, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Right.
You're on my side.
Yeah.
Because he likes to torture.
Yeah, why- how-
He gets pleasure from
From torturing you.
Yeah, from torturing
And
you.
that's why he tortures you through life.
right.
by
But why
giving-
couldn't you team up and then go torture the angels?
Maybe
in
if
That's what I
you
don't
suck
understand.
up to the
I guess
devil.
that's going to be Armageddon. That's going to be the showdown. We haven't gotten there
And which
yet.
side would you like to be on?
Me?
Yeah.
Whoever wins.
Which side do you think's going to
That
win?
means you're going to hell.
I want to be on the side of, I think both of you entities are freaky and you scare me. I don't want to be with it. I don't want to be, I mean, heaven
That's
seems
why all of that
heaven
stuff
seems
doesn't
boring.
exist.
Heaven seems boring as you can. I mean, the way people envisioned heaven with the harps and the angels. Honestly, I mean, that does not seem like a good time.
Are there
you know?
movies in heaven?
Yeah,
You get the latest
Entertainment?
releases.
Or do you just not lead it?
Well, you don't eat anymore because you don't need to eat.
Right.
You're not having sex because sex is solely
Corporal.
for procreation.
Right.
I think you sit there.
Yeah, what do? You just so that's boring. And then the other side of it, hell, you're burning for eternity. That's not fun. I mean, I'd tire of that in the first 30 seconds.
You know what's kind of interesting is that the concept of heaven is supposed to be like, you don't need entertainment. It's like you don't
Yeah,
have that
you are
consciousness. You
fulfilled.
are exactly, but
No
then,
desire.
But then in hell, you have all of these feelings and emotions of torture and pain
Right,
and anguish. But so why is that different? They're both in this like weird realm of afterlife. Why do you have any feelings?
Because
in
you're
hell?
not, because you're released from it by going up. And
So that is your
it's like all that
gift.
misery. I think the idea is all that misery in life, that mental stuff and all that agitation continues forever. Whereas when you go to heaven, all that is lifted.
Right.
But then what do? You sit around and tell God what a great dude he
No,
is
that's
all
what
the
I'm saying.
time?
You don't
Like,
do that.
Hey
There's
man,
no-
you're awesome. You're so great. You're just so great. Like if
You sing that song, God is an awesome
if
God.
that
Now it's going to be stuck in my head. Don't do it.
I mean, to me, that is no way. I would not want to do that and forever. I don't think I want to do anything forever. Be honest with you.
Well,
people
listen,
think they want to
would
live
you-
forever.
No.
Honestly, guess what? If you live, let's say people like the idea of, well, why can't we just live 500 years? That'd be great. Okay, here's the deal. This is what you don't think about. You're not going to still be able to retire when you're 80. All right. So if you live to be 500 years old, you work until you're 470.
Yeah.
Then you right. I mean, so can you imagine getting up and going to work for 400 and let's give you youth your first 20 years, getting up, going to work every day for 450 freaking years?
Well, like,
it would
would-
be horrible.
Yeah,
Death
these
is
3
a release.
weeks. These 3 weeks have been bad enough. Coming
Yeah,
in here.
you guys can't even get here by 8 o'clock.
Would you want to start a game that lasts forever?
Yeah.
Would you want to play Monopoly?
Yeah,
You know?
for eternity.
No, you would not.
You know what I would like?
The ending. Hold on. The ending is
Right.
the gift. Like the ending is the good part. You
Yeah.
get to. There's all the stuff
Get
in
to
between
relax.
that makes you happy or makes you sad, and there's the up and the down, and that
There's a lot
it
of good
needs to
things.
end.
There's a lot of good things about death. No more
Sorry.
bills. No more bills. No more of that phone ringing with people that, you gave them one charitable contribution because you like the firefighters, and now they call you every goddamn night for more money. All that
Demerits.
goes away.
Demerits.
All of that goes away.
Yeah, I think that you have to add one there.
All right. Well,
Two.
I put it behind. It's hard to do. But
I
we
would
will
like
add.
to attend a 460-year-old's birthday party. That'd be a lot of candles on the cake. Trying to watch them blow those out. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that's another thing. There'll be house fires all over the place because at some point everybody's going to be doing this. And I mean, can you imagine, like, if you lived 500 years and you were still a loser your whole life? I mean, you had a lot of time to win. You had a lot of time to put in new projects.
That
or
would be
whatever.
super depressing. You're like, I'm 400 and I still am working minimum wage.
Oh, how
No,
about
man,
this?
I'm gonna get fit, man. I'm going to the gym tomorrow. You're 400.
How about, I got
It's
100.
over.
I got 100 good years left, man.
Yeah,
400.
I'm taking it home.
400's the new 300.
I mean,
If you are a
you get married when you're
procrastinator.
20. You
Yeah.
get married when you're 20. You're married for 480 years.
But
I don't care how
you
much
couldn't
you love
age
each
the
other.
same rate, I would assume. The
No,
aging
I'm-
process wouldn't be the same. So 20, therefore, would be equivalent to 3.
Right.
If you're 20
Oh,
years-
really? We're gonna walk around drooling, pooping
what's
in our
gonna happen?
pants for
You
the
see,
first
you see
25
people who are
years?
90, they can barely function. Their bones are turning to dust and they're piles of goo
Right.
on
Well,
the
that's what I'm
ground.
saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think in my picture we live the same type of life. It just goes on for 500 years. That would
man.
be horrific.
So you're an adult for 480
I mean, can
years?
you imagine if you owed money on something? They would never stop hounding you. It would be like for 40 years you're talking about this thing that you
just
owe.
get used to it and know that you're going to die one day eventually, and then they'll stop calling.
You know what would be the worst thing is if you could still die in an accident. It's like people would still die
Yeah.
at 25.
Yeah.
Like, when people die at 25, you think, wow, man, he would have been alive 40 more years.
Or even
50
if he
more years.
died
But you're
at-
like, wow, he just knocked off 480 years.
Even if he died at 180, you'd be like, oh,
Wow.
he died so young.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
For him to go. Give me one more little dilly, and
Sure.
We'll go to Nick Cellini after that.
Yeah.
He's gonna give us some sports.
NASA has discovered 715 new planets, and
Yeah.
these are planets not just like huge gas giants. These are
Who
all
cares?
exo.
They're worthless. Ain't nobody on them.
Yeah.
Move on.
You never know. Yeah,
no.
these are rocky, habitable
Yeah.
planets
all
that
of
probably
them smaller than Neptune.
right, and they're all defined as in the habitable zone, defined as planets that are in the right distance from a star,
Right.
with a moderate temperature.
I got
and
some
have
audio.
liquid water.
Can you turn me up? Yeah, Nick, well, can I be turned up? Am I okay?
This is the largest windfall of planets. Not exoplanet candidates, mind you, but actual validated exoplanets that's ever been announced at one time.
Right. So they were using this new technique called verification of multiplicity, which
Yes.
is just a fancy way of saying instead of searching just for stars and trying to see if maybe there's a planet that is habitable,
Right.
they looked at stars that had planets around them already
Right.
to see if they had habitable.
Right. But you know what's interesting is out of these 700
candidates.
out of these 715, they've identified 4
Right.
that they think might be Earth-like.
Right.
Which
That's
is,
a
you know,
lot.
That's a lot. No, it's a lot. I mean, or I guess they're not saying it would be Earth. They have the potential for water. They're
Right.
not too hot or too cold to have water. If you have water, you have the potential to have humanity as we know it.
So it's really
Or all the other
difficult, it
creatures.
turns out, to find planets that aren't gas giants. A
Right.
lot of the planets that we actually find are these big gas giants.
Yeah,
Which
because
don't,
they interrupt the gravity. You can see them as they transverse those suns.
right.
They warble the gravity or something.
They warble the
Yeah.
light.
And
light
you can
curve.
tell, but yeah, by the amount of the light warbling, you can tell what the weight of the object is that is warbling it.
Weight?
Well, yeah, the size, the mass.
Mass.
Okay, the mass.
The mass.
Yeah. So yeah, they said that one of them is about twice the size of Earth and orbits a star half the size of Earth's sun.
I'd like to live there.
In a 30-day cycle, it goes around in 30 days.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
A year is 30 days. So you
Yeah.
could live to be 500 years old. There.
So
It's,
maybe
it's
it
a
comes full
number,
circle.
by the way.
Yep.
It's just
What?
a number.
Huh? I don't know what you're saying.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
All these planets are in multi-planet systems. From the sample, 94% are smaller than Neptune. And from this sample of 715, 4 of them are new habitable zone planets.
This is why you.
I don't
I know,
know.
hobble.
He's a little drunk.
This is why you need people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, though, because these guys who present this information.
I know.
Snooze fest, and you know how much I'm into it. I
Yeah.
love space, and I read about it constantly. It's
No,
not
the
to read
Cosmos
about,
comes
but
out soon.
What
I'm
does?
excited.
Yeah,
Cosmos is
Yeah,
coming out.
I mean, you saw the promo for that. Fire behind him, and he's putting
Well,
on
they
his
gotta try to
sunglasses.
They got to
He's
try to
still
get
got
kids.
his still got his stupid tucked in polo shirt and dumb Velcro shoes.
The
But he's got
original-
sunglasses, Michael. That makes it cool.
no,
for
the original
kids.
Cosmos is the same way. It's got lots of like
Yeah.
production
Well, for its day.
for its day.
But I mean, yeah,
he
Carl
was in that
Sagan-
spaceship.
Carl
forever.
Sagan didn't go to his
Stupid
head.
spaceship.
Stupid
That
spaceship.
Stupid spaceship.
Come on, that's right. That's
With like
right.
a cheesecloth over the lens, like everything's
It
beautiful.
was like, what was it, 1976 or something when
Yeah.
they did those? Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Cosmos. Is it on Fox Television or is
This is a real
surprise me?
big push. It's
Well, that's why he puts on the
multi-network.
sunglasses. They gotta.
It's on Fox. It's on National Geographic. They're pushing it out on a bunch of
Right.
networks.
I'm looking forward to it because Cosmos was great, but it was the problem with those kind of things is even from 1976, a lot of the theories that we had, the information we have has been changed, and so you can still learn a lot from the original. But I think Neil deGrasse Tyson, I like him a lot. I think at some point, I think he's almost becoming too much of a space celebrity. We'll see what this does to his image. But yeah, he can. People like us who aren't scientists need people like Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson to really explain to us. Because they understand. Like when you see, you often hear people bandied about as geniuses. The word is thrown around. Stevie Wonder's a musical genius. And maybe he is. But the only geniuses. The only truly smart people are those people that you see in front of a blackboard full of those crazy equations that look like gibberish to you and me, and they turn around and to them it's like reading an exit sign. Those are the geniuses. Those are the truly smart people. We're never going to be able to understand that. So you need people like Carl Sagan when he was alive and Neil deGrasse Tyson to say, this is what it really means.
Well,
but they're not. Yeah, those are mathematicians that you're talking about. They usually work in conjunction. Physicists. A lot of that's theoretical, and they work in conjunction with these mathematicians.
But those algorithms behind you are
they can understand them.
They are the scientific basis.
I don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson's creating too many equations, but he
doesn't. But what he does is he goes, well, this is what they do.
Don't touch the muffins.
Okay, you see, my wife made these muffins.
Grabbing them with fists.
So there'll be an algorithm behind a guy on a chalkboard that takes the whole chalkboard up, and then somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson says it's as if you had two muffins, and those two muffins talk to each other, and that's what I need. I need like a cartoon Disney version of what's going on that chalkboard.
Because Travis, my husband,
you need your info to have crumbs on it.
Yes, muffins. That's something I can relate to as an average Joe.
My husband is an astronomer, and when I talk to him about these stories, sometimes it's kind of difficult to understand what he's talking about because he knows too much.
Right.
And
a guy like Neil deGrasse Tyson not only knows too much, but he also knows how to dumb it down enough so that I can understand.
Right. And sometimes that's.
And then he talks shit about you behind your back.
Dr.
You think like that idiot?
Who? Travis
took
or
his money.
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He thinks everyone's dumb. He's like, I'll present it to you, and I'll collect your money through my television show, and then I'll laugh at you.
Yeah, but he puts on cool sunglasses, so the kids are going to...
He has those
Let me tell you
vests,
something.
right? It's a vest, or he has a tie. He always wears some, like, funky
he has a little
clothes.
Like
sunglasses still appeal to kids. I was wearing sunglasses, so he's cool.
I got news for you. They can do all they want, but young kids aren't going to get interested in space. They're interested
People
in
are interested in
YouTube.
space.
No, the people are interested in space are in space. Greg's going to watch it. Everybody in this room will probably watch it because we're into that, but it's not going to bring anybody new into the game unless they're 9.
No, you're crazy.
Oh,
People
come on. You really think some 23-year-old woman who cares about how long her fingernails are is ever going to get interested
big diamond ring.
What this is all about or what time means? Or they don't give a damn.
They might catch it and then be like, "This is weird."
Anytime, have you ever tried to talk about the mysteries of space with people who aren't into it the way you are? Almost invariably, they'll say something like, "Somebody got stoned last night." Yeah,
I hate that.
Because everybody at NASA's tripping every day. They do nothing. Get stoned. That's how they sent a man to the moon and brought him back home. A lot of drugs.
First of all, that using that kind of thing in a conversation makes me insane.
Yeah, no, it means I'm shutting you down. I don't want to think about.
I'm not playing with you. I'm not throwing the ball back and forth with you that involves a conversation. It's the same thing if I say something that's maybe a little odd or something like, you're weird. That's weird. You're weird. Or like, oh, you're so funny. It's like,
you know what that is? It's the people who, when you're in school and like you're in high school or whatever, when you're there, the most important thing in the world to you is being popular.
Uh-huh.
Like it just seems so important to be popular. And if you're not popular, and then the day after you graduate, you realize that has no currency in the real world, being popular. And men have to go to work. But a lot of women, to me, it's the same thing. It's like when you say something weird about space or something and a girl reacts to you that way, it's like, ooh, that's what unpopular people say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you're weird. Yeah. I don't want to think, my brain doesn't want to expand.
Or just is not interested in chatting with you. There was, I was getting a makeup trial done for my wedding, and I was nervous, and I was like trying to make her laugh. I was just being silly, and she just kept saying over and over, "You're so funny. You're so funny. You're funny." And I was like, you know what? Every time you say that, what I hear is, "You're really annoying," or "You're stupid." And she was like, "No, you're just funny.
You're just funny. I don't understand.
Like, I hate this so much."
See, what I do is I apply makeup all day long, and then I get together with my girlfriends, and we just bitch and moan about our boyfriends.
Funny.
I think about my boyfriend a lot, and I talk about him a lot. And that's what I talk about is my boyfriend. oh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket.
That's
But
right.
the way I look
We're
at
gonna
it
have
mostly,
to move to one of these exoplanets.
I says to myself, Eric, I says, you can make money off of these idiots. Figure out how to make money off of these idiots.
Oh, no.
I think we need idiots so that the rest of us can make money and exploit them. So
I
we should
agree.
thank goodness that Cosmos is going to have low ratings.
Someone's got to clean up the elephant shit in the parade.
That's right. And by the way, that person's still in show business, as the old joke goes. Anything to be in show business. All right, well, give me that sounder. Go ahead.
So yeah, that was our take on the news. If you want some of the stories we didn't get to, you can find everything on ericvonradio.com.
See, here's the thing, Greg. When you point to me and tell me that it's time to wrap up this segment, if you just hit the stinger, then I would know.
I hit the stinger once before, and you got on to me about it. I didn't give you the cue to hit the stinger.
Well, then that'll be a little better.
Stop being so confusing. I don't know how to act around you anymore.
I don't
you know
even
what
know who
I think
you
is
are.
happening right now? I think that
Respect. Starting with some respect would be a good way to act around me.
You're doing something like, when you have to let White Fang run away. You're like, I never love. Get out of here. I hate you. That's what you're doing right now. You're like trying to start this fight so that you can leave clean.
You stupid $15 glasses. Is Nick Cellini on the line? That's your job, right? You pulled him up on the line. So I should hear him like right now if you're doing your job correctly. You say,
Nick should be on the line. Hold on, give me a second.
Nick Cellini, are you there?
Nick Cellini.
Come in.
He is a
Ground
guy we talk to. He is Nick Cellini. We're
Ground
waiting
control to Nick Cellini.
Boo.
Have you ever
Well,
watched
Cellini.
movies by Fellini? It's the only thing I can think of that rhymed with Cellini. Okay, well,
Tell us the story of Nick Cellini. How do you guys know each other?
we just met a few weeks ago. But,
Yeah?
Nick Cellini was on 790, The Zone.
What, he's not on there now?
Well, they got thrown off the entire show. A little regular guys action. They got
Oh,
tossed
no.
off the air because there's a New Orleans Saints player who has ALS, and they did a bit. And
What is ALS?
ALS is like
It's American League Soccer.
I believe it's the same thing as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Ah.
But it's debilitating. And was he a player? And now he's with the organization. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, they were on a sports station. They were on a sports station, and they did a bit, and he was kind of doing his voice.
forwarded to it.
Oh.
And,
Nick Cellini.
So it was Nick's end. We're fine.
All right, go ahead.
Well, just try to hook up with him again. And so they got tossed off the air, and so he's serving his non-compete just like I'm serving my non-compete. And it was really kind of silly. They just did it because they wanted to get rid of the show anyway, I think, because he apologized to the family personally, and they accepted that apology.
Right.
Again, with this whole world we live in now where you're forced to apologize, but then the apology isn't accepted. And then I would ask the question, what is the good of an apology anymore?
What's the point?
So Nick Cellini, are you on right now?
Now can you hear me?
I can hear you. And I want to, by the way,
Very
Nick,
good.
so in between, I will get to the sports in just a second, but Nick Cellini is one of the things that he's doing in his time off air is he's an Uber driver. So when you got the Uber app, he can come get you. And this is a way of making a little bit of money. And we know that here in Atlanta is one of the cities that the taxi cab people are trying to keep Uber out. That's correct, right, Nick? They're trying to keep you guys out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story, but I guess they got together last night and somehow, some way settled on the fact that as long as they're doing background checks, the apps that we use and everything else can't exist. So I think it's going to be a victory for Uber over the
one thing,
slow clap.
One thing that may
That's
have helped. Ashton Kutcher was on Jimmy Kimmel a couple of nights ago. Ashton Kutcher, it turns out, from that '70s show, and
That's what it is.
I know, I love how you say it.
Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher.
Kutcher.
His wife used to be Demi Moore. So Ashton Kutcher.
His wife used to be a beard.
Is really
I'm sorry, what was that?
He's not gay. You can't throw that at everybody. Ashton Kutcher is
All right.
not.
Yeah.
All right.
You heard it here. Ashton Kutcher is not gay.
That's my opinion. So he is into tech, and he's one of the people who helped come up with the seed money for Uber. So he's part of Uber.
Oh, really?
And you never ever hear these Hollywood type people talking about too much regulation. He's on Jimmy Kimmel, and he's talking about these cities that are trying to stop Uber.
There's only some cities where there's some bizarre old, like antiquated legislation that doesn't allow it to exist there, and which basically is like mafioso, like village mentality of like, we're not going to let the new guy come in.
Right.
Like in Miami, it doesn't exist because of some dumb regulation that says it can't exist there. And for a while, like in Denver, they couldn't have black cars in downtown. But now it's
because of racism.
No.
So I think I think that helped an awful lot because George, so these political pundits can say stuff on This Week, on Meet the Press all they want. If Ashton Kutcher says something on Jimmy Kimmel, people get organized.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, Ashton Kutcher, he knows what he's talking about. So I think it's going to be clear sailing for you, and you can thank that dude from that '70s show, Nick.
Who'd have thought it? And Ashton Kutcher would be mentioned in the same sentence.
Yeah, exactly, and that he would actually be helpful to you. So what's going on in sports? What should I know about?
Well, let's start with. It always seems like I have gay news to lead off the sports.
There's been I was thinking about this, Nick. It's not really us. It's just that there happens to be a lot of gay news. I mean, we didn't even touch on the fact that in Arizona, the Republican governor vetoed an anti-gay bill that had gone through. So go ahead. In sports, gay news that's what this has to do with, probably because. One of the reasons that the Republican governor knocked down the anti-gay legislation, I think, is because they were afraid they're going to lose the Super Bowl.
Well, that's exactly it. That was going to be the first story I was going to talk about. The Super Bowl is supposed to be in Arizona next year, and this religious bill was passed through where restaurant owners have the right to deny same-sex couples for religious reasons. Well, the NFL stepped in, and so did Major League Baseball. They both said, look, we have zero-tolerance policies when it comes to this, and changes have to be made or you're going to lose the Super Bowl, and you're talking about millions upon millions of dollars in revenue, and that's why the governor stepped up and said, yeah, I don't think this bill is going to become a reality. I don't think it's going to pass into law when all is said and done. Veto.
Yes.
So Arizona gets to keep the Super Bowl.
She vetoed it. It's interesting. Sports often
I would have let them hang themselves, honestly. I would have sat back if I was the NFL and said, hey, let's just see what happens and let's see what they really think.
Right.
And then as soon as she passes it, then go in, gotcha.
Right.
You dummy.
Well, no. Well, what happened was a lot of Republicans came out against it. McCain is the Republican senator. Jeff Flake, who's really conservative, almost a Tea Party guy.
Yeah, but let the majority rule. Let them find out what they're
well,
actually
I know, but it wasn't
all about.
the majority. It wasn't on the ballot. It was just passed.
Well, the pocket of the governors will be the one that's going to be filled the most when it comes to the Super Bowl. They're going to get the bonus.
Right.
They're going to get that little extra bump because of the Super Bowl. And they're the ones that has the power to either pass it or veto it. So let it get to the governor.
Well, that's what
let
they did.
them make the real decision. Well, they
you're
decision
saying
once
don't.
the NFL. The NFL said, "Wait, if you do this, we pull."
By the way,
if I was the NFL, I'd have waited until they made the decision, and then I would have pulled my.
By
trigger.
the way, that's just because you hate Arizona. By the
No,
way,
I
the
don't-
governor
I've
of
never been to
Arizona, the governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, is a conservative Republican, and so it's a big deal that she actually vetoed it. But when this woman talks, I swear to God, if this woman isn't an alcoholic. She sounds like she's always coming off a bender. Here she is.
Let's turn the ugliness of the debate over Senate Bill 1062 into a renewed search for greater respect and understanding among all Arizonans and Americans.
Yeah, she does.
She always sounds like she's been on a bender. So I was going to say, Nick.
Now, where are my cocktail onions?
Yeah, right. Where are the maraschino? Is it maraschino cherries? Maraschino. I always call it maraschino.
Some people call
You
them
always say
Skino.
it wrong.
No, you don't know that.
I do.
You're
Some
no
people say
grammarician.
I've heard Mr. Maraschino say it.
Oh.
Joey Maraschino is a good friend of mine.
Desegregation in the Old South in the 50s and 60s is not really reported on a lot, but a lot of the reasons that in colleges that things did start to move through was because there was a threat to lose college football, which in the South now and in the 1950s was a big deal. I know Mississippi was one of the ones that the fact that they were going to get sanctions and not be allowed to play college football, they're like, okay, I guess we'll let black people in. Don't take our football away. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, it also, because Alabama, I was going to say it's an interesting point to that story. Southern Cal came to Alabama. Sam Cunningham was the running back, and at the time Alabama was all white, and they beat the living daylights out of Alabama. And after that, Bear Bryant changed his policy too because he wanted to win. I mean, that was a huge factor as well. I don't think he was really a racial pioneer. I think Bear Bryant was a guy that wanted to win football games. He saw a big black running back beat him and said, you know what? I need to be one of those.
The game is changing.
Probably a major factor as well.
The game is changing, he said to himself. Although, Bear Bryant is a great man. It wouldn't surprise me to know he threw the N-word around once or twice in the 50s, but that wouldn't surprise me. I don't know, I'm not saying that he did, but at the end of the day, he wanted to win games. What else is in sports, Nick?
Well, speaking of gay, the WWE's WrestleMania 30-year anniversary is coming up, and it looks like Hulk Hogan is back in the game for the first time since 2007. He has returned to the WWE, and here's an example of how a divorce can ruin everything a man has built up over the years. She took Linda, his ex-wife, all of his money.
Really?
He was flat out broke, and as a result, he needs to continue trying to do something. His body is broken down. He's had knee replacements, hip replacements, and I don't know if he's going to wrestle or not, but he's back involved somehow, some way, in a capacity of hosting at least this 30-year anniversary of WrestleMania with the WWE. But if you get to know some of these wrestlers, I mean, you want to talk about a circus-type lifestyle. They're like strippers. I mean, they go on the road and anything goes, and the relationships are bordering on incestuous.
Yeah.
It is really a sad end for a lot of these guys.
I mean, if it's going to be a sad end for Hulk Hogan, what about all the other guys that you barely remember their names? You know, they end up Hulk Hogan, because of his name, in his desperation, can return to the WWE, which is a huge, the biggest wrestling stage. These other guys are wrestling in high school gymnasiums in front of 50 people. It's really, really sad. They do it. There's a lot of it goes on around here, out in Canton and Kennesaw and all the places that Greg Russ grew up in and walked around in when he was a kid.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know. I'm looking at you. And I'm
How many
thinking
places did you grow up? Isn't that
mostly
like a one
Kennesaw,
place?
Mostly Kennesaw, Georgia. But it can get really sad. It's sad in this sense with Hulk Hogan at this level, but man, at the lower levels, wrestling, because your body just takes a beating.
Well, that's the thing people don't realize. I mean, yes, the results are scripted, but you're suffering legitimate injuries. And if you saw the movie The Wrestler, it really is like that for a lot of these guys. They'll show up at these VFW halls with 30-year-old VHS tapes trying to still sell them. And if anybody has any interest in buying anything off of them for $5, you know, they'd be willing to sell it. It's a sad end. You're right.
It's more
for
pathetic. Hey, it's more pathetic than a 50-year-old starting his own network in his basement. I think it's even more pathetic than that. So is he?
How about the 46-year-old calling in for free?
I know. I'm saying here we are. We're looking down our noses at wrestlers. Our bodies aren't as beat up. It's just our brains and our emotions.
Surprisingly, you two do less drugs, as it turns out,
than those guys.
Shocking.
So he can't wrestle anymore. He's too old. Right?
I can't see how he could barely move 10 years ago. I really can't see how he's going to go in there and do anything right now, especially when you look at some of these guys and how they fly around. You know, Hulk Hogan was never one of those guys anyway, so I don't know what the end result's going to be, but I do know that he desperately needs some money. Let's close out with this. I guess, as you saw, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski teamed up to call figure skating. That's the only way they would team up. And I guess when they went over, they had 8 bags that contained 22 pairs of shoes, 25 blazers, 10 pounds of jewelry, and 4 fur coats. All of the fur coats, incidentally, and probably not shockingly, belonged to Johnny Weir.
To Johnny Weir. And now, but they were like celebrities. People were actually enjoying, I guess, their coverage. I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Weir was the ever flamboyant one, and at times he looked like, I don't know, if you look at some of these pictures with the makeup on and with some of the gray suits, he had this gray tight suit on. He looked like Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
A couple of times. So, I mean, how far do you want to push it?
I think somebody
is. It was the bow tie and the bike.
Yeah. Somebody. So I think they're being picked up for pre Oscar like red carpet interviewing by somebody.
For, Kathy Lee and Hoda, those idiots. I was just the TV's playing here earlier. Yeah. They said that it's none of our news segment. Okay or not okay.
So I think that these two have started a career. I think
they are drunk.
They're going to land a reality show somewhere or something. They're not done working together because, you know, once you show that you can have any kind of pull on TV, even if it's as artificial as the Olympics, somebody's going to come along on one of these networks and give you something.
Look, if Mob Wives is on TV, anything's a possibility. That's the way I look at it.
I think Johnny Weir should become the next Mob Wife.
Put him in the middle of those people?
Yeah,
those animals?
Absolutely. Well, Nick, how can people follow you? You're still, even though you're not on the air at the moment, you're still following sports and letting people know what you think. How can people follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook, Nick Cellini. Also follow me on Twitter at Cellini Nick. Thank you as always.
Oh, I thank you very much. But also spell that last name because I'm not sure people exactly know how to do that.
No problem. Cellini.
2 L's, 1 N. Cellini.
That's correct.
All right, Nick.
Eyes.
We'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. See you guys.
Nick Cellini, great guy. One day we'll be back on the airwaves where he belongs. On the real radio, on the real Radidios.
Yeah.
So, Autumn Fisher,
Yes.
You have a Facebook as well, and you're in other areas. How can people follow you to find out more about your big, fat, pregnant self?
You can find me on all the social medias. Otto Pritz, Pritts.
Michael Albanese over there is truly in show business. He is in show business, and he has things to push.
Yes, I will be at the Improv in Buckhead all this weekend, opening for Robert Kelly, who's one of the funniest guys around. He's coming in from New York, and he's great. Shows tonight at 8, tomorrow 8 and 10, Saturday 8 and 10, and I will be at Diesel on Sunday watching The Walking Dead.
Oh, really? You go to
absolutely.
Diesel down the
Dude,
street
it's going to be
here.
interesting, though, because I'm not drinking right now. So
Why are you watching The Walking Dead at Diesel?
It's the most fun you've ever had in your
Really?
life if you're a Walking Dead fan. Absolutely.
You
In
drink
fact,
beers?
don't go because I want to make sure I get a seat.
It's a small
so
place.
I'm not going. That's the stupidest thing ever. Don't be there. You should go to Diesel. It's amazing. Come hang out. I'm getting a big table. I'll have some extra chairs while I'll sit down and have some fun.
Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll
Good
join
idea.
you.
Be awesome. You gotta get there at 5, though.
I can't watch people eating other people.
Well,
Unless
then
it's
maybe you shouldn't
pornography.
go.
Hey,
It's amazing because everybody stays quiet. Everybody shuts up during the show, and it's better patrolled than a comedy club. When
Right.
if one person talks, it's get out of my
Yeah,
restaurant.
you're out.
It's amazing. I love that place.
Greg Russ. You have many different names that aren't Greg Russ online. Do you want to let people know what
Nope.
they would be?
Nope. I don't want anyone finding me.
Okay.
My last night in the Highland Inn.
Yeah.
And I leave. That's it.
Sad.
Out of
It is,
here.
I know.
See
We have
ya.
Mr. X here learning how to
Mr. X.
do the equipment. So hopefully we can keep
Dr. X.
Dr. X. Sorry, Dr. X over there. Will soon be manning the controls. We're not losing Greg forever. He's just he needs to go to the Himalayas and sit on a mountain and think about his life and figure out exactly what he wants to do next. But I think that we're going to be involved in some way in his future. We'll find out. But
Anyone have a place for me to live?
you
Is
you
that a
have your
question?
pets.
Yes.
Michael has a place for you to live.
I have a place
I
for you to
do?
live.
Autumn has a place
In
for you
May.
to live.
Autumn's got a place in May.
I
You want me to
barely
come back
rent
in
a
May?
room right now.
No, I want your ass back here in a couple of weeks. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll
that.
talk about those
talk
things.
about
I'll,
that.
I'll give you my demands. I need a new laptop.
Oh, for the love of Christ.
Okay, wrap it up.
That was the morning show with EVH. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
We'd not be able to do that. Dunham Platinum, 25 points of accent, 75 points center. On the ring was $8,900 down to 76. I'll take on this ring $6,800. I'll take $6,800 on this. Isn't that wonderful? Absolutely wonderful. Okay, we're moving on. Moving on. That bracelet. Gorgeous. Okay, this here, now this is AGL certified. It is AGL certified. This is Vic